Good morning from Accra. Apologies, I was muted. You are almost welcome to this meeting for members only. As introduced, my name is Nodumo Dhlamini. I'm the director responsible for ICT services, communications and knowledge management. And our unit is also responsible for organizing the annual Africa University Day celebrations. So you are most welcome. I believe this is the second time that we are hosting this event virtually. Previously, what used to happen is that we would go to a hosting campus. We would issue a call to our member institutions, and then those that were willing to host us, we would go to that campus to have the event. After the COVID-19, the format of the running of the events has obviously changed, just like everything else has changed in terms of how we collaborate and how we meet. When I look back to the history of this day, we actually started celebrating this day around 2000, working with the Secretariat of the Committee of Vice Chancellors, now Vice Chancellors Ghana, and we would jointly organize events to commemorate the day. And then, of course, we over the years have had a number of our member institutions hosting the event. I remember in 2006, it was hosted by the University of Education, Winneba. In 2007, the event was hosted by the University of Ghana. In 2008, University of Ghana again hosted the event. In 2009, the event was hosted at a public hotel, Holiday Inn here in Accra. In 2011, I remember it was hosted by the University of Cape Coast. 2012, Central University College. 2013, it was the University of Professional Studies, Accra. 2014 All Nations University in Koforidua here in Ghana, 2015 Ashesi University, 2016 University of Professional Studies. Then after that, we had moved to our luxurious offices here in Accra. Then we could afford to host the event at the Secretariat offices. Something else that's important about this event is that we've always encouraged our member institutions to also host their own events on their own campuses. Even though the Secretariat hosts an event now for the whole of the continent, we also expect our member universities and other institutions to also do so. So this year's celebration, as you know, is aimed at creating the platform for intellectual discussions and debates on the key issues African universities should focus on as we try to build technology-based and resilient universities. So you'll realize from the program that when we have sessions with the regional offices, they will be discussing this session, this topic. That's our East Africa Regional Office and also the North Africa Regional Office. Then on Friday, we are going to have a big keynote around this topic of building technology-based resilient universities in Africa. So the objective is really for us to understand how we don't scratch on the surface in terms of integrating technology, but really dig deeper to understand how we implement technological solutions for sustainability. So we welcome you to carefully look at the agenda and make sure that you understand what is going on each day, and so that you can contribute effectively. Today, our goal is to really focus on our member institutions. So we will not be addressing the topic per se, but we will be looking at some issues around membership and how we can strengthen ourselves as a network, and also how we can strengthen the collaborations among the member institutions. So my role is to welcome each and every one of you, and thank you most sincerely for joining the call, and to wish us a successful day. And I see that there's quite a good representation in terms of our member institutions. So thank you very much for taking time to be with us. Naomi, can I hand over to you so that you then take us through the program? Thank you.
Yes, madam. Thank you so much for your time. I'll quickly hand over to the North Africa Regional Office coordinator. The AAU has two regional offices. That is the North African Regional Office and the East African Regional Office. So I'll hand over to the coordinator for the North African Regional Office to give a remark.
Thank you. Okay, so dear Professor Bakri Said, the President of AAU, dear Professor Olusola Oyewole, the Secretary General of AAU, dear all AAU staff and AAU members, universities, and representatives, ladies and gentlemen, good day for all of you. I would like to extend the greetings of North Africa Regional Office, which represents universities from Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria, and Mauritania. North Africa Regional Office celebrates the African Universities Week since its establishment in 2019. And if you would like to know more about North African universities or contact them, please join our celebration by the African Universities Day on this year on 10th of November at 11 GMT. And the link for our event will be in the chat box. Dear higher education representatives, we are the mind leaders in Africa, and I think all Africans believe in us, and they are looking forward with passion to the change we can do for Africa. So let's put our hands together and use this opportunity of the African Universities Week and strengthen our contribution to higher education sector and develop our beloved continent and achieve the agenda of 2063. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this year of AAU was building the technology based on resilience universities now is very important as it links to the African Union Commission Digital Transformation Strategy of 2020-2030, whose vision is an integrated, inclusive digital society and the economy in Africa that improves the quality of life of African citizens and strengthens the existing economic sector. So, ladies and gentlemen, with the recommendation of this very important event, I believe that AAU, the voice of higher education in Africa, can do more progress and development in our beloved sunny continent. So I would like to thank you all for being here and also thank many thanks for the African Association of African Universities and happy anniversary for AAU. And thank you for inviting me to join this event. And by the way, this event is the first event for me to attend since I got infected by COVID for about more than 6 weeks. Thank you very much. Good luck for all of you.
Thank you so much, Professor Mani, for your time. We wish you speedy recovery. I'll quickly go to Dr. Faiza Mohammed Osman. Dr. Faiza,
yes,
if you're online, kindly give your remarks.
Thank you very much. With the name of God, Prof. Bakri and Professor Oli, Secretary General of the Association of African University, distinguished guests, friends and colleagues and members universities. Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of the East African communities, I'm pleased to be here and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to address you all. Honorable participants, at the outset, I have to ensure that the East African universities have very strong desire and solid grounds on which to build future collaboration with all African universities and partnership in educational development on subjects as diverse as possible under the leadership of AAU. It's no incident then that AAU should have formed in Africa some of its most sustainable partnerships. It's obvious to me that we also share the certainty that no single university can solve the higher education problem alone. In our history as an Eastern African, we are collaborative and initiative that in 1963, when the idea of AAU emerged and come to existence during the summit of the Organization of African Union in Khartoum, as sustainable collaboration, it has already yielded fruit in the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding in March 2018 between AAU and University of Khartoum to support joint work to be carried out by East African Regional Office, hosted by the University of Khartoum, seeking strengthening ties with East African communities. We, as East African, we fulfilling our ambitions to remaining a global universities. We rely on continuous collaboration with our partners, whether they are union, organization, university, government, business, alumni, or donors, and we have more tools at our disposal than before to facilitate this interaction. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to say that this advocacy, sustained by our instance to contribute to society through the purchases of education, learning, and research as the highest international level of excellence, mutual academic benefits, and on a wider social impact. As our mission in East Africa and in Africa all is to contribute to society through the purchasing of education, learning, and research at highest international excellence. It is our hope and our expectation that such initiative and joint will in all cases make the bonds between AAU member university tighter and more endurable. Creative efforts are needed to mark this vision a reality. Based on Agenda 2063, the blueprint developmental plan for the African continent as African Beyond is about youth taking up the lead to be in the driver's seat for our African regions. So multiple international events, as all knows, in 2020, including COVID-19, structurally highlights the need for the Africa to refocus in strengthening institutional capacity internally if the hopes of achieving sustainable development goals are to be taken seriously. COVID-19 crisis raises significant concern for the entire educational community, policymaker, educator, partners, and of course, learner. School and university closure around the world have disrupted the learning and life of the generation of students. Community learning centers also have had to close their doors, distorting access of some of the most disadvantaged and marginalized learners. For the moment, we know very little in East Africa about the full impact of this crisis on education and on society at large. This crisis will surely change all society and social institutions, not just the healthcare sector, and it consequently will be felt for years to come. The precious nature of that change is at this time unknowable, while happy for our resources being deployed to transform and improve higher education in East Africa. There comes their emerging fear that COVID-19 will destabilize the system and the efforts. This unprecedented crisis is having severe effect on learning, and there are current efforts to brutalize and maintain educational profession through digital learning mechanism and application of the technology. And I think this is the theme of this celebration day. Such distance and online teaching resistance has arisen to this because of challenges of assessed by certain categories of students. There are certainly lessons to be learned to improve institutional resilience in higher educational university. Also have a great opportunity to gain new legitimacy in society by demonstrating that they are a great source of knowledge and expert for society. Education must play a major role in helping to shape the post-COVID-19 world, and do so by reshaping higher education itself, and uses of the technology it's more important. Although managing the COVID-19 pandemic has certainly been a challenge, it is also an opportunity. It has shed tremendous light on the need for building capacity for the university leader to address rapid change and institutional transformation in continuous evolving context. In East African communities, today more than ever, universities are expected to fulfill multiple and increasable change and roles. University leaders also had to mitigate the impact of the pandemic in the best possible way, from boosting university in IT equipment and ensuring access to online technologies for an inclusive student participations, and to help local communities while managing the financial susceptibility of the institution. AAU has an initiative aiming to enhance the capacity of higher educational institutions, their leaders and senior managers. We need to bring change and tackle the complex topics on the institutional transformational agenda. In preparation of the post-pandemic era, East African university leadership will certainly play a certain role in steering a new vision for their institutions, but also in sizing opportunities to assess with the post-COVID-19 recovery. AAU and East Africa regions will work towards capacity building for leaders, which will be a key enabler to support such post-conflict institutional adaptation and transformations. In fact, this requires a complex set of attributes, such as excellent interpersonal skills, the ability to inspire a shared vision across the entire institution, as well as resilience and the capacity in the addition to these transformational skills, institutionalized transformation also require a reflexive approach towards topics such as knowledge and team management, project management, and government and technology adaptations. Honorable participants, we aspire that by 2063, Africa shall be a prosperous continent with the meaning of resources to drive its own development with sustainable and long-term storage of the resources. And we are confident that Africa has a capacity to realize her full potential in the development, culture, and peace, and to establish flourishing, inclusive, and prosperous societies. We are thus committed to act together toward achieving the developmental aspiration, so that we can all look further ahead, steering change in our universities for the benefit of our African communities and students. Let us recognize, create a culture that encourages the building and shaping the Africa that we want. The change we want being with us, coming together and developing our own culture and peace. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to be able to celebrate that partnership of African University Week for 2021 and appreciate the AU great effort exerted in making this occasional fulfillment. And I hope the outcome of the ceremony benefiting all the participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Faiza Mohammed Osman, who is the East Africa Regional Officer for the AAU. And also thank you to Professor Manuel Sharif, Coordinator for the North African Regional Office, for your remarks to us. I would call on the AAU Secretary General in the person of Professor Olusola Bandele Oyewole to give his remarks to us and also share his vision for the AAU's membership. Professor Olusola Oyewole, please, if you are online, kindly take the floor.
Thank you very much. Esteemed Vice Chancellors from various AAU member institutions here present, AAU desk officers, staff, students, and other important personalities from member institutions, parallel session chairs for today's discussions, colleagues from the AAU Regional Office, and let me especially appreciate Professor Amani El Sharif, the coordinator for the North African Regional Office, and Professor Faiza Mohammed Osman. I've listened to your speech and I appreciate you, and I promise you of our commitment to the regional offices. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols duly observed. On behalf of the governing board of the Association of African Universities, AAU, and my colleagues at the AAU Secretariat, I take this opportunity to welcome you all from across the length and breadth of the African continent and beyond to this very important event on the calendar of African higher education, the celebration of the Africa Universities Day and Week. The theme for this year's celebration, Building Technology-Based Resilient Universities Now, was aptly chosen to throw more light on the effects the COVID-19 pandemic has had on higher education and the urgent need for stakeholders to find ways to improve the modes of education delivery, especially based on the experiences. AAU has lined up a rich banquet of programs, starting with today's special members-only event. This week-long event will also feature high-level presentations and panel discussions on the need for African higher education institutions to collaborate and share technological resources and expertise on online content preparation and delivery. We will also focus on the needed management and stakeholder support, both policy and financial, and commitment towards building a technology-based, resilient higher education system in Africa. I think that this is possible. Indeed, strengthening our African higher education institutions and ensuring that they are resilient in the face of the current and future pandemic is critical in promoting development and the attainment of the Africa that we want by 2063. Ladies and gentlemen, one may be asking why we needed a special session for our members. As the new Secretary General of AAU, one of the key focus areas as part of my roadmap for the AAU's transformation is to improve our current services and engagement with member institutions while demonstrating the value of joining AAU to non-members. Having aware of all the efforts of the Secretariat and the AAU membership over the years, we appreciate your support since the establishment of AAU on November 12, 1967, and urge you to work more closely with us as we mention. For our part in AAU, the membership team at the AAU is working on a digitalized membership system that will facilitate and enhance the effectiveness of our current system and processes. I need to inform you, because we know how important our members are, a special unit to attend to issues of membership have been set up in AAU, and you will be seeing the great improvements that will be coming out through this new unit. We surely want to innovate and strengthen our memberships and collaboration with governments. Africa higher education institutions must not be backward at such a time. We must rise up to the challenges of our time. I wish to encourage you all to actively participate in today's session, and indeed in the rest of the session for the week, especially the main African Universities Day event to be hosted on Friday, when I will come again to address you. I thank you once again for joining us for today's event and wish all of us fruitful deliberation. But I'm not going to end this speech without recognizing the great workforce that we have in AAU. From Madam Nodumo to every other person in AAU, you have been wonderful. Please keep on doing your best for African higher education. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Bandele Olusola Oyewole, who is the Secretary General of the AAU. Next on our program for today is a welcome session for new AAU members, a presentation by Miss Edith Larry. Edith Larry, if you are on, kindly take the floor.
Good day, everyone. My name is Edith Larry, the membership officer of the Association of African Universities, and I'll be taking you through the, so our mission is to enhance quality and relevance of higher education in Africa and strengthen its contribution to Africa's development. Next slide, please. Our membership, we have full and associate members of the Association of African Universities, and currently the membership of, we have over 400 higher education institutions from 46 African countries, from 5 and then we also have we have members from 5 non-African countries representing the UAE, Malaysia, France, Puerto Rico, and Guyana. This is actually true because, you know, we are in the global world now, and a lot of institutions outside Africa have their satellite campuses all over Africa. AAU is collaborating with this institution to enable our members collaborate extensively with these universities. Membership cuts across our major linguistic languages, that is English, French, Arabic, Portuguese. Who can join the Association of African Universities? Membership is membership of the AAU is open to universities and institutions of higher education in Africa, as well as organizations and networks whose members are universities or which engage in supporting universities. Why should you join the AAU? We have the main reason why you should join the AAU, and that is the prestige and sense of connection you get by attaching or by collaborating with the Association of African Universities. This Pan-African higher education organization with a mandate to provide support for higher education institutions in Africa helps all other universities in Africa to stand, and together will bring higher education to a very high standard. We also have the AAU membership benefit matrix, which involves benefits that institutions in the Association of African Universities benefits from the AAU. We also have the benefits that individuals receive as members of the Association of African Universities. So we look at the benefits that universities get as members of the Association of African University. We have the decision-making power that universities get during the statutory events of the AAUs that influence the decision-making and governance of the association. When you are a member of the Association of African Universities as a university, you stand a chance of voting during our governance, during our statutory meetings. That is, you are part of the decision-making process association. You are able to network with the member institution extensively, just like I made mention earlier that the AAU is now admitting non-African institutions as associate members to enable our members collaborate with this institution extensively. We have the academic mobility, which the AAU gives to its staff. It allows the staff from these universities to move from other institutions and contribute their quotas to the member institution. We have the project management, that is AAU being the brokers, the AAU brokers research and project partnership among member universities and develop partners. Currently, we have the ACE, that is the African Centers of Excellence project, that the AAU is the facilitating unit of this project, which has a total, which is actually supporting scholarships for students, building of infrastructure, investment of research and other areas. And this is what AAU does and many more. AAU has a lot of other projects that they do, and the AC is one of the projects. We move to the visibility that the AAU gives to member institutions. The Association of African Universities gives its member universities, it features their stories in publication, it features their, on the AAU TV, you have the AAU featuring most of the universities, and we have the research, and this is done through the AAU database of African thesis and dissertation, which allows universities to showcase their publications that were done on the DATAD platform. And these can be accessed at the data.aau.org. Research support. As a member of the Association of African Universities, you enjoy a discounted research consultancy services from the Association of Universities. Here, when you have that you need consultation, you contact the Association of African Universities, and our ever-abled staff are ready to assist and support with this project. We have institutional grants that we also, this one in particular, it's open, it's a competitive one, and it's actually come as at when we have funding available. Eligibility applies for all various competitive institutional grants and others. Access to knowledge, access to AAU Knowledge and Information Hub. The AAU peer-reviewed Journal, the AAU State of Higher Education in Africa Global Survey Report, which is yet to be launched, and then project policy brief that the AAU does, and the AAU newsletters and other publication things that we do for our members are some of the knowledge hubs that our member institutions can access as a benefit of being part of the association. Members are able to contribute to the continental and global dialogues by the use of AAU policy statements for institutional advocacy efforts. We have the eLearn platform, which allows free access for academics to the AAU eLearn Africa Learning Management System. For you to access this, you can kindly follow www.elearningafricalms.com. Data and statistics. Participants in institutional quality, members of AAU are able to participate in the institutional quality benchmarking exercise through the African Quality Rating Mechanism platform that the AAU has. Now we move to the benefits that individuals within the universities get as being a member of the Association of African Universities. AAU governance. Vice chancellors, presidents, and rectors of our member institutions stand the chance to be elected to the AAU governing board and working group. So if you are a VC, you can actually stand a chance of being voted as a president or being a part of the governing board of the Association of African Universities. Also, you are able to vote in the members of the governing board. Another benefit that individuals in our member universities benefit from is the networking. African higher education leaders, academic professionals, and administrative staff can get to know each other and share experiences so that they improve quality of higher education through the AAU platforms, because we give that opportunity for individuals in various universities to network with each other. From time to time when we have funding, the AAU opens up these small grants that allow students to apply for these grants to be able to do their thesis and dissertations with them. We have the webinars. Individuals from the AAU members can be a presenter or a speaker on the AAU webinar platform, as and when we speaker for the particular topic. Access to members are able to access synthesized information, for example, information on consultancies, opportunities through the AAU media outlets such as the newsletters, AAU TV, and social media outlets. The AAU, members of the AAU, that is of the Association of African Universities, that is members, individuals from the member universities benefit from the member-only events. This is actually a new initiative that has been brought about by our new Secretary General to be able to engage more with our member institutions. So with it, this allows us to either have a face-to-face or a virtual one, just like what we are having currently with our member universities. And this enables individuals from these universities to benefit directly from this initiative that our current Secretary General has put in place to be able to engage more with our universities. Individuals of the member universities benefit from a discounted continuous professional development programs like webinars. We have trainings, we have capacity building webinars, trainings that we run for individuals of our universities, and we encourage each and every one of you to take the opportunity of the discounted trainings and participate in them, because yes, these are the areas that you can actually benefit from the Association of African Universities. On that note, we move to the second session, which is introducing our members that were admitted in 2020. In 2020, we admitted 32 universities, and these 32 universities were approved by the board. And today we are going to introduce them, we are going to mention the names, and we'll welcome them accordingly. We have first on the list, the University of Medical Sciences, Ondo in Nigeria. We have Durban University of Technology, which is in South Africa. We have King Caesar University, which is in Uganda. We have Chiroso University in Zambia. We have the École Normale Supérieure Assis Daba of Constantine in Algeria. We have the International University of Equator in Burundi. We have the Badar University in Cairo, Egypt. We have the Alexandria High Institute of Engineering and Technology in Egypt. We have the Kabri Daha University in Ethiopia. We have the Salal University in Ethiopia. We have the Data Link Institute of Business and Technology in Ghana. We have the Takrady Technical University in Ghana. We have the Lincoln University College in Malaysia. So this is what I was saying earlier in my presentation. I made mention that we admitted some non-African institutions just to enable our member universities to collaborate with these universities. So after the meeting, if in case you want to join in any partnership, you can actually contact us and we will link you up to these universities. We have the African University of Science and Technology in Nigeria. We have Community University College from Ghana. We have the Islamic University from Ghana. We have the Sabrata University in Libya. We have the Federal University Wukari in Nigeria. We have the Ignatius Ajuru University of Education in Nigeria. We have the Nigerian Army University Biu in Nigeria. We have the Federal University of Petroleum Resource in Nigeria. We have the Jamaria University of Science and Technology in Somalia. We continue, we have Zamzam University of Science and Technology in Somalia. We have the University of Al Butana in Sudan. We have the Maro University of Technology in Sudan. We have the National Institute of Public Administration, that is NEPA in Zambia. We have the Pharaohs University in Alexandria, that is in Egypt. We have the National Egyptian E-Learning University in Egypt. We have the Academic City University College in Ghana. And then we have the Mountaintop University in Nigeria. So in 2021, we had 21 admissions, and then we had one university, that is Edo State University, upgrading from an associate member to the full member of the Association of African Universities. The other universities that were admitted in 2021 are, we have the Gulima University in Algeria, we have the British University in Egypt, we have the Egyptian Chinese University, we have the Manthro University in Egypt, we have the Blue Hora University in Ethiopia, we have the French National Research Institute for Development in France. So there's another institution here. If you would want to partner or you want to collaborate with some of these institutions, you can reach out to the Association of African Universities, and we are here ready to support with that connection. We also have the Organization Development Institute, that is the OD Institute in Ghana. We have the Excellence Management and Business in Guyana. That's another university from a non-African country. We also have the Stars University in Liberia. We continue with UNICAF University in Malawi. Then we have the Joaquim Chissano University in Mozambique. We have the Al Kalam University in Katsina, that is Nigeria. We have the Edo State. So Edo State is actually showing here because they upgraded from an associate member to a full member. We have the Universidad Politécnica de las Americas, that is Puerto Rico. Then we have the University of Global Health Equity, that is in Rwanda. We have the Barawa International University in Somalia. We continue with the IMM Graduate School in South Africa. We have the Cephak Megaphone Health Science University in South Africa. We have the APBS Avicenne Business School in Tunisia. We have the Kabali University in Uganda. We have the Lusaka Apex University in Zambia. Then we finally have the Manicaland State University of Applied Sciences in Zimbabwe. We would like to say a very big welcome. We use this opportunity to welcome our newly admitted members from 2020 to 2021. We encourage you, if you are yet to make payment for your membership subscription, we encourage you to do so. If you are also yet to contact the Association of African Universities for any other membership-related issues, we encourage you to contact Hilary at aau.org. We have a few notices we want to give to our members. That is, we request that all members provide us with a short publicity video that we can use to publicize their university for them as part of the membership benefit that our member universities benefit from the AAU is visibility. And we encourage each and every member university to send us a short publicity video. This video can just be within a minute, and we will use it to show the world what your university has. We also encourage associate members of the AAU who wish to upgrade to the full membership of the association to kindly contact Hilary at aau.org with that information, and then we will help you through the process of the application and upgrade of being the member of the AAU, that is being a full member of the association. We encourage VCs who are online and their staffs who are yet to nominate their desk officers to do so and send that email to Hilary at aau.org or info@aau.org. We will help with that. And normally we advise that the communication of nominating a desk officer comes directly from the VC's office. So we encourage that each and every one of us knows that for the letter or the nomination to come to AAU, it should be coming from the VC's office with his nomination. We also encourage members of the Association of African Universities to participate in AAU events, just like the one we are having. From time to time, we have other events that you could participate in, and we encourage each and every one of you to be a part of it. We encourage our member universities to engage with the AAU television. If you have any events upcoming in your institution and you would need that Pan-African TV coverage, kindly contact the Association of African Universities. You can write an email to us and we would connect you to the TV, and they will come and give you a good and a better coverage. We encourage each and every member of ours who are having outstanding membership dues should kindly contact us. We're actually going to reach out to you. There's always a payment plan for those who have extensive or have more than 2 years or 3 years. We encourage you to make that payment. We could actually work out a payment plan which enables you to pay according to your strength. So we kindly encourage that you look at that one too. Thank you. We encourage our member universities to engage the AAU for all their capacity building needs. So we have various trainings, various capacity building workshops that you could contact the Association of African Universities, from project management to communications to diplomacy, from research and data ethics and all that. Just contact the Association of African Universities for all your capacity building needs, and we will sort you out on that. We would like to also invite and to inform all our members about the membership certificate. If you are yet to receive a membership certificate from the Association of African Universities, we encourage you, just send us an email. If you haven't gotten it, because most of the time what we did in the previous years was we send them. And so if you know you haven't received yours, kindly just tell us, you send us an email and we'll take it out from there and provide you a certificate. But mind you, the certificates last for a year. So if you have one that doesn't have an expiring date, kindly contact us on elari@aau.org and we'll sort you out with the current certificate that you need to have. We also call for the hosting of AAU events. If you are a member university and you wish to host any of our AAU events, especially the members only events, we open it up for you to send us an email requesting to be the host of this event. This will actually bring a lot of publicity kind of to your university, and we'll have all other universities trooping to where your university is based. This is actually a positive image that the AAU is going to give to your institution. We encourage all our member institutions to continue to disseminate our information, any information that they receive from the Secretariat through either their desk officers, through either the newsletters or any of our communications means. We encourage you to help disseminate. And on that note, we would like to say a very big thank you for your support, because we know you've been doing it. We also take the opportunity to thank all our desk officers for the immense support they are giving us. We are saying that you are doing a good job, continue with it, and we are with you. And we also encourage you to always, wherever you are, wherever you find yourself, to be the brand ambassador of the Association of African Universities. If you meet someone who is not part of the AAU, you could kindly talk about the AAU. You could mention some few things about the AAU to that university. And I'm sure by that word you've given to them, they can also be interested to join or look towards the Association of African Universities. On that note, I'd like to say a very big thank you to all our members, and we encourage you to follow our online platforms like the AAU TV. You could actually click there and see what we have on our AAU TV website. You could also go to the main AAU website. You could visit the blog. You could visit the ACE website. You could also follow our social media platform, that is the Twitter and the Facebook, the YouTube. You could also join our mailing list. That is, you have the link there. And then if in case you have any queries on membership, on financing, on the Association of African Universities, you could write to elari@aau.org or copy info@aau.org. Thank you so much for the listening ear. We appreciate you, and let's stay together and bring higher education to where it's supposed to be. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Edith, for that wonderful presentation. There are some questions that came out in the chat. There are questions related to sharing of the presentation, and I think we will share the presentation as we always do, and any other presentation.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. There was also a question on, is the membership certificate for individuals? I can respond to that question. The membership certificate is for institutions. So member institutions pay annual subscription fees, and then if they are in good standing, that is, if they've paid their subscription, then they get an updated membership subscription, an updated membership certificate. And then there was also an announcement by the North Africa Regional Office in the chat. They gave information about the office and what they do. They are also inviting people on this call if they are interested in joining their WhatsApp groups. So you can check out that from the chat. There was something also shared by the North Africa office about a forum that's coming up. And then there was Brian who asked about which universities in the Southern Africa are members of AAU. I'm asking Edith if you could share the link to AAU members, because it's on our website. Then someone can search and be able to find out which universities are in North Africa, which ones are in East Africa, and so on. So please share that link. I'm now moving over to the next session that we had planned. And then before we break off, Edith will have the opportunity to play one or two videos that she had planned to play. So the session that I will speak to is really a discussion with the AAU member institutions to try and understand what we can do to promote collaboration among the AAU member universities, because as a secretariat, we believe that there are so many opportunities, but sometimes they become missed opportunities because we do not organize ourselves appropriately to collaborate. Being an association which covers the whole continent, bringing universities from North Africa, Southern Africa, Eastern, Central, and West, we believe that we can organize ourselves better to work with each other and to leverage the capacities that are resident in our universities. So just as a way to remind us, the AAU has a new strategic plan, 2021-2025, and there are 4 strategic priorities in that plan. The first priority is creating a favorable policy environment for African higher education. The biggest challenge that we see in the continent is that higher education does not receive the required support, particularly from African governments. So the role of AAU during this current strategic plan is to ensure that we use the voice of the AAU to promote dialogue around policy debates, whether it's a policy around financing of African universities or around promoting harmonization of African curricula, or maybe if it's around promoting mobility and making it easy for people to move from one region to another. So the current strategic plan really places a lot of emphasis, and we use a number of mechanisms to be able to promote dialogues and debates, mostly through the AAU TV and also through the Conference of Rectors, Vice Chancellors, and Presidents, and the general conference that happens once in every 4 years. The second strategic priority of the AAU is to strengthen the institutional capacities of stakeholders, much as we also strengthen the capacities of individuals. We believe that we would be more impactful if we focus on strengthening the universities to be able to respond and to be able to provide quality higher education and quality research. So we have also done this now through the decentralization of our functions to make sure that the regional offices also are at the grassroots and they are able to collect information and help us prioritize in terms of the interventions that are relevant to each region. We, of course, also run a number of programs. We are also very concerned about ICT strengthening. How do universities work with their national research and education networks to address connectivity issues so that programs such as e-learning can happen with no hindrance? We're not only interested in connectivity within towns, but we're also interested in understanding how our national governments can help us to create last mile solutions so that even the most remote places in our countries have access to connectivity. The third strategic result area that we are focusing on is promoting harmonization and standardization so that we can be more competitive. So there's a program called the African Quality Rating Mechanism, which helps universities to continuously check their quality by self-benchmarking. So if a university self-benchmarks itself maybe every 2 years, we believe that they will be able to make some adjustments where they are not doing so well. The last strategic result that is in our new strategic plan is about resource mobilization for sustainability. So we also would like to ensure that our member institutions are strengthened in terms of mobilizing resources, and also the Secretariat is strengthened in terms of mobilizing resources so that we are able to service our universities better. So those are the 4 strategic priorities that are in our current strategic plan, and you can download the strategic plan from the website. Now coming to the issue of what AAU also does very well. What we do well is also setting the intellectual agenda so that we guide the themes that are being discussed at any one time concerning higher education. We also are a platform for collaboration. We believe that collaboration is central to Africa's development, particularly within the continent, between the different regions, among the different regions, and also internationally. Without collaboration, we are unable to learn. and we would not know what others are doing that we can learn from. So the most important thing is that AAU is an extremely important platform for collaboration. We consider ourselves as an association as the champion of higher education. You might know that we are currently hosting the CESA Higher Education Cluster, which is this continental education strategy for Africa Higher Education Cluster. This is an African Union program which is associated with the African Union's continental strategy for education in Africa. In 2017, we conducted a survey among our member universities to find out who were our beneficiaries and what did they think about AAU and what did they benefit most from being part of the association. It was very interesting to note that most of the respondents told us that what they value most about AAU is to be connected to their colleagues within the continent. So they told us that it's good if I am a registrar in Zimbabwe and I know another registrar in Nigeria and maybe another registrar in Tunisia and another registrar in Cameroon. They believe that that way they can form their own collaborations for learning from each other and even visit each other's institutions so that they don't make the same mistakes maybe that others have made, but they leapfrog by learning from their other colleagues. So this then taught us that it's very important for us as an association to continue to bring you together so that you can network and do things together. So, and also the association is well positioned to broker partnerships. There are many times when we get a number of organizations approaching us wanting to work with African universities. So we believe that they come to us because they know that we know the universities in Africa better, and we are the entry point through which they can link to the universities. Recently also, not really recently, I think something that has been coming up over the years consistently is the private sector coming to the Association of African Universities and saying they would like to serve African universities better and they would like to do it through us. So when they come to us, there are a number of ways that we have approached this in the past. For example, when Microsoft approached us a few years ago, we then asked them to set up a formal meeting with universities, and we advertised that meeting among the AAU members. At that meeting, they wanted to meet vice chancellors and ICT directors so that they would understand what is available for universities. But in those meetings, we are very careful to put a disclaimer to say that we encourage our universities to attend the meetings, listen, and make their own decisions, because we don't want the association to appear to be associated with a particular private sector organization. But on the other hand, we believe that there are very good opportunities for collaborating. And then also a few years ago, a number of service providers approached us, and we invited them to come during Africa University Day celebrations to actually exhibit their products and what they can offer to the universities. And then we also put up some information on our website to say these are the private sector people who would like to work with universities, and we recommend that you explore what they do, and if it fits what you want to do, we encourage you to do due diligence and then work with those people. Last year, we were approached by Coursera, edX, and other organizations that provide content. Some of the content is free, some of it is not. So they had arrangements during COVID to provide content for teaching and learning to African universities. Some of you might remember we hosted a number of Coursera events, edX events, introducing our members to these service providers so that teaching would not be interrupted during the COVID era. But what we learned from that experience is that most of our faculty were not ready to adapt content that comes from elsewhere. We found our students being the ones that were jumping in and using the content, but institutions didn't seem to know how to respond in terms of taking advantage of some of those opportunities and using them. Of course, there was a lot of discussions around, is the content appropriate for the African scenario? Does the content use African examples, etc., etc.? But I believe that if the content is not fitting, then it's our role to adapt it. So you use what's there, but you also beef it up with your own examples and with your own student research findings. So we really would like us to be more creative, more open, more exploratory, and so that we are not left behind. We find that our students are more up to date than we are. Recently, we had a visit from Samsung and Logitech, and they are also wanting to understand how they can work with our universities so that they update your video conferencing equipment so that you are able to teach online and do all your remote work. So we also explained to them that we would be willing to explore this in consultation with the Secretary General and maybe have a session where our member universities get to understand how they can work with these partners. There's quite a number of private sector partners that are really willing to work with universities, but I think we need to agree on a model and ensure that we don't lose out, because we're always being told universities must work with the private sector. So how are we working with the private sector, leveraging the products that they have, pushing them to give us special discounts, and also working with them so that they give input to the curricula that we offer in our universities. We as the Secretariat are thinking, in the process, not thinking, in the process of establishing very strong communities and fora based on the different areas that we think our stakeholders fall in. We currently have WhatsApp groups for vice chancellors of AAU member universities. These WhatsApp groups are by region. So each of the 5 regions has its own WhatsApp group. So we will be sending out communication to all the vice chancellors of AAU member universities, encouraging them to join these WhatsApp groups. We've also created a mailing list for vice chancellors in AAU member universities who would like to really strengthen these thematic communities by function within a typical university. We have not created the Deputy Vice Chancellors group, but we are in the process of doing so. We do have a list for registers of African universities. We will also be strengthening this community and sending out invitations so that registrars from AAU member universities can collaborate better. Similarly for deans. We have a WhatsApp group for desk officers. We also have a mailing list, but we still don't have all universities represented in the desk officers group. The desk officer is a person that has been nominated by their university to be a point of contact. So we would like all our 400 plus members to choose a desk officer. Currently, we have a little over 100. So it's not even a third of our members. We have a community of public relations and communication officers across the continent. Currently, this community is a WhatsApp group. So after this meeting, I think we will send an email to everyone who registered so that people know how they can join the different communities. We also have a community of library and information management staff. Is normally called database of African theses and dissertations, because they normally meet in sessions where we talk about how to develop repositories for their research outputs. We have a community of quality assurance directors and officers, which is managed by Dr. Violet Makuku. So we will also be giving information on how to participate in that community. We have a community of ICT directors, which I manage. We will send information again, how people can participate in that community if they are ICT directors. We have a community of African webmasters. It's currently a WhatsApp group. We have a community of African research and education networks. It's currently a WhatsApp group and also a mailing list. We have a community of African research and teaching faculty, and it's currently, I think, a mailing list. A community of human resource directors, which is a WhatsApp group. A community of Moodle experts. Moodle is the learning management system, is currently a WhatsApp group. We also have a growing community of those who are signing up to the AAU eLearn Africa Learning Management System, and I think people regularly receive news flashes. It's currently a mailing list. We would also like to grow the community for students from AAU member universities. It doesn't exist yet. We have a community of women in higher education network that we are building. So through this network, we would like to support women who are working in universities and other tertiary education institutions to be more successful. So after this meeting, we would send you information how to participate in all these communities. In terms of discussions, I would like us to engage in a chat or maybe even raising hands. There are 3 discussion questions that we would like to engage on. The first one is, in your views, what can be done to promote collaboration among the AAU member universities? We would like to receive some feedback in this area. Do people have ideas on what can be done to promote collaboration among the AAU member universities? So if someone wants to address this topic, maybe by raising their hand to speak, please do so, and the microphone would be open. Or if you want to type a response in the chat, please, you are welcome to do so. There's a hand raised from Professor Faiza Mohammed Osman. If you can speak, please, Dr. Faiza, do so.
Thank you. I just want to comment and to highlight some important points. I think the items of strategic plan which have been set in AAU, it can cover all the needed items which can upgrade the university to reach the international level and serve the community. But it is very difficult for AAU as a main office to reach all individual university and to say it is needed. And this is the reason why AAU formulated and structured regional office come closer to the university in the region, because each region has its own nature according to its educational ecosystem. For this, we are in a regional office, we plan for a study to evaluate, categorize, and prioritize the need of East African communities. And actually, all the findings can be infused in a common strategic plans. In another way, also we break down the strategic items to infuse and inject some item which directly related to our regional needs for forums and collaborative groups. So we formulate specific groups to fit the specific needs of East African communities, and in future it will be open for all the East African members to participate, and we have a big planning and strategy to implement that. So we need to help each other, because we are a huge university and we have different educational ecosystem. We have different nature. Unless we are individual university, we raise up our issue. So for us at regional office or at AU, we cannot solve your problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Faiza. I think that has been extremely useful, particularly the emphasis on how the regional offices support the implementation of the strategic plan? Thank you. What can we do to promote collaboration among ourselves? What can we do? Is there anyone that would like to address that issue? Yes, please, Grace Onyebuchi. I don't know if you are able to speak or you need to be unmuted. I've asked you to unmute.
Hello.
Grace.
Good afternoon from my side. I am Dr. Grace Onyebuchi from University of Nigeria.
Yes.
Yes, actually, I got to know about the AAU for the first time last year during the COVID. I think it's something I should have known about before that time, but I'm glad I knew it.
May I also ask Abigail to speak? She has her hand raised.
Okay, hello, my name is Abigail Welbeck. I'm in Ashesi University in Ghana. So a suggestion I wanted to make was after the first lady has shared her comments, I was thinking that beyond the regional differences, there's still some cross-regional learning that we can achieve. Different institutions are doing different amazing things that we can learn and apply to our different contexts. So an example is, I'm in Ghana, but I try to attend every once in 2 years. That's before COVID. There's a conference for career services professionals and employers in US, right, where different universities share. So the context is not specific to Africa, but there are a lot of things that we have derived, or a lot of things we have included in our programming here in Ashesi that came from the presentations and what we learned and picked from the conferences there. So I really believe that. And what happens with, it's called EAC, Eastern Association of Colleges and Employers. It's almost like NACE, but it's not as big as NACE. Now, what they do is they do a needs assessment, right? So maybe AAU can do a needs assessment of what member institutions deem as the needs of the institutions, right? And then they have maybe a selection or a list of 10 areas of concentration. And then there's a call out many months before the conference, the annual conference, for people who are in the institutions who are leading work in those areas, who have something to share, learnings to share for others to pick up, right? And so there's a whole, you're supposed to submit a presentation, etc. And I think for those people who are leading the presentations, they get like 50% of the conference fee or something of this sort. But they are vetted. Obviously, not every presentation that is accepted finally. And so at the conference, you get to sit in different presentations depending on what the needs of your specific institution are, because the topics are shared ahead of time. So you get to sit in them, ask questions. So as you are getting information about what they are doing and leading in their universities, you're thinking about how to connect it to your context, make it relevant to your institution and what works for your institution, right? And that's where a lot of collaborations also occur. A lot of conversations and networking also occur. So I think if we can have I know AAU has annual conferences as well. I'm not sure if this is the strategy that's already being utilized for that, but I think if there's a platform where people in institutions are leading programming that could be beneficial to other member institutions and what they're doing, I think the platform to be able to share and connect will be very helpful on that level. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Abigail. I think this has been extremely useful. Yeah, extremely useful. And we are taking notes, and we really want to be more responsive in terms of how we do it. because there's a lot of knowledge here in Africa and in our institutions. Sometimes we don't even know what we are struggling about. An institution just across the border has a solution or has experienced it and has suggestions concerning how that we can solve it. So thank you very much. I don't know if there's other comments before we move to the next question, but there were 2 contributions in the chat that we can encourage more of interdisciplinary researches. We can also encourage more of mentorship programs for upcoming research faculty to learn, I think. Then networking up among faculties of the same field. I think that's what we are trying to do with strengthening the communities so that people have a platform where they can engage and they can learn from each other. I don't know if there's something else. There was a request, Edith, to have a directory of all member institutions, including their specialized areas, so that we can get connected. So maybe it means we need to issue a call around that so that universities can know who is doing what in which area. There's also been a suggestion on creating room for clusters of innovative and creative pool of ideas. So thank you so much. If I don't read your contribution, please know that we will have access to it in the chat. And then I think maybe this has been responded to, because it was a question on in what areas do we see opportunities for collaboration. And based on Abigail's feedback, I think we can only know if we do a needs assessment, and we can only know, for example, if we now have information about the clusters of innovative and creative ideas that people has. So there's some work that we need to do before we are able to identify the areas for collaboration. Maybe one last question was, does any of us know any upcoming funding calls which require researchers to team up, or which require institutions to work together, or which require African institutions to team up with universities in Europe or universities in the US? This is an excellent opportunity for us to share such information, so that if you are looking for a partner to respond to a particular call, we all get to know that you are looking for a partner in this area. So please, if you have information in this area, kindly type in the chat or raise your hand to be able to make your contribution. I just got some more information concerning how we can collaborate. I certainly think that there's a great opportunity for us to jointly respond to calls, but it requires us to know about those calls in advance so that we can plan in advance to respond. The challenge that I normally see with most calls is that when they come up, the teams would not be existing. So I think we need to create the teams and the collaboration, not because of a call, but because of an interest area. And then we need to give ourselves time to also respond to those calls. And many calls also require us to get support from our vice chancellors and support from our leadership. So if it's rushed, then it will not work. So on our side, as the association, we will be on the lookout for those calls, particularly which calls would be coming on in 2022, and then we will make an effort to ensure that the information about these calls is circulated within our network so that you can respond to them appropriately. And hopefully before those calls come up, wherever they are coming from, we would have strengthened our own communities of practice so that when we are responding to the calls, it's not difficult. We already know each other and we would have established relationships. I see that there's someone, Romeo, I think it's you who has shared some information. Would you like, or no, I don't know, I think it's a Mahmoud Tarek. There's some information, is it, that has been shared? I think those that would like to say something, please raise your hand. If there's something that you'd like to share with the community, this is the right time to raise your hand and share it. There's so much in the chat, maybe people might miss your message because there's a lot that has been shared in the chat. Yeah, so otherwise, thank you very much. If there's no one else that has anything else to share, in conclusion, we will be taking into consideration your suggestions and we will be sending you information about the communities of practice and how you can participate. And we would also take the suggestion to do a needs assessment in terms of collaborations so that we take it from there concerning in what areas we collaborate, and we would like our stakeholders to be the ones to drive those collaborations. Naomi, can I hand over to you now so that you can take over from here? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam, for your presentation. Edith Larry, who is the membership officer, will share a video with us, and then I'll take it from there. So Edith Larry.
The Association of African Universities is the leading advocate for higher education in Africa with the capacity to provide support for its member institutions in meeting national, continental, and global needs. We provide a platform for research, reflection, consultation, debate, cooperation, and collaboration on issues pertaining to higher education in Africa. The membership of the AAU is open to universities and other institutions of higher education in Africa, as well as organizations and networks whose members are universities or which engage in supporting universities. For more information on membership with the AAU, contact Edith Larry at elarry@aau.org. Call us or WhatsApp us on +233 264 173 153. AAU, the voice of higher education in Africa.
Edith, are there more videos?
Yes, please, but it's going to be shared by Mr. Abednego Kolite, so he'll be doing it shortly. It's actually a video of the Jobs Board project that is one of the AAU projects that is being run by the Association of African Universities. The Jobs Board project is a project that helps the member universities with their recruitment processes. So Mr. Kolite will do the sharing of that video shortly.
AAU, Education Sub-Saharan Africa, ESSA, and Warwick Employment Group, WEG. The African Jobs Board was successfully launched on 10th November 2020 by the Association of African Universities, AAU, Education Sub-Saharan Africa, ESSA, and Warwick Employment Group, WEG. The African Jobs Board platform seeks to address the recruitment and academic mobility challenges in African higher education institutions by bridging job seekers and employers from African higher education institutions together on one platform. With over 150 academic and non-academic jobs on our platform, we give job seekers more options to choose from. Our main objective is to bridge the gap between employers from higher education institutions and job seekers across the African continent.
So thank you so much, Edith Larry, who is the membership officer here at the AAU. As we bring our program to a close, I would like to appreciate these people. Big thank you to the Secretary General, Professor Oyewole, and also I would like to appreciate the Secretariat, the regional officers, and you, the participants, for joining in today's session to contribute to the discussion on what we can do to promote collaboration among AAU and its members. This is the first day of the African Universities Day celebrations, which is happening, from today through to Friday, the 12th of November. The main event is on the 12th of November. We'll have a keynote speaker and a high-level panelists to help us with the discussion on that day. And so join in all of our sessions, and